Am I the asshole for telling my sister not to bother coming to my wedding? I, 24M, excluded my sister, 28F, from my wedding but not my other sister, 26F, and upset my entire family. I am getting married to a really wonderful man we'll call Max, 26, this summer, but my sister will not be in my wedding party. Here's why. I have two sisters, Macy and Penny. We grew up close, but with no brothers I felt excluded. My sisters would go on girls' trips, and I wasn't invited. My father isn't in the picture, so mostly mom would leave me with grandma. Sisters and brothers are different. Penny and Macy fight, but they always make up. Penny is a lesbian, and as a gay man we've bonded more as adults. Overall I love both my sisters even if the relationships are painful. About 7 years ago, Macy married her fiancé Michael. Penny was her maid of honor and Michael asked me to be a groomsman. Her wedding party included our female cousin, but also Penny's partner Joanne, 26F. Max and I were together but he was not in the wedding. I barely knew Michael and all his groomsmen were strangers. I told my sister that I would rather support her on her wedding day, but she said that isn't the way things are done. She was right, but I saw no reason why it needed to be gendered. I should have stood with my family. She was the bride, so I didn't bother her about it again. I was excluded from everything leading up to the wedding. I missed the bridal parties, dress selection, and bachelorette activities, not to mention the fact that day I had to leave my house and get ready at her fiancé's hotel because she didn't want any men around while she was getting ready. 2 years later Penny married Joanne. Of course Macy was the maid of honor but I also got to be a bridesman, and was with her every step of the way. Partners were excluded on both sides. Before the wedding, Macy kept making snide remarks about how I didn't belong there. There were no bachelor parties, but I think Macy thought without a groom men shouldn't be in the wedding. I was invited to Penny's bachelorette party much to Macy's chagrin. Now Max and I are marrying and we weren't going to have a wedding party. But Max insisted because he's close to his brother Marshall. When I made Penny my maid of honor Macy was offended. When I told her that she was going to stand with Max and Marshall because my best friend Cole is going to be in it, she was furious. Macy said she needed to be there for her baby brother's big day, and felt slighted. I told her that if I had to stand with strangers, she had to. Besides, we needed even numbers. My mother took her side when she complained and even my grandmother called me spiteful. Angry, I shouted that if Macy had a problem she needed come. Should I relent and let her stand with me? I feel like this is a total double standard because when Macy was married the answer was, it's her wedding. Am I the asshole? Info. Does she have an issue with you being gay? Because this kind of reads like she might. Especially with her making snide remarks when you were in the wedding party at Penny's wedding and attended the bachelorette. TBH if she does this instantly makes it ANTA. Info. You were angry about not being involved in the dress shopping and stuff when you were 15? And you were in the wedding, but not on the side you wanted to be? I mean, gender aside, a lot of 15-year-olds are left out of that stuff. Nah, she didn't do anything wrong by having her wedding the way she wanted it. You are not doing anything wrong by having your wedding the way you would. If you are excluding her specifically because you want to get back at her or punish her, that might be worth thinking about. Not the asshole, but you had me in the first half. She made you stand with strangers instead of with family at the wedding, so she's a hypocrite for being upset that it applies to her. However, to be clear, I missed the bridal parties, dress selection, and bachelorette activities. Is an opinion as the men in the family are typically not included in those activities. Those are usually the bride's female relatives, friends. Those are traditionally gendered activities. You may be gay, but you're a guy. People can of course do what they want to, but you're taking issue over being excluded for activities that male family members, friends are not usually included in, where it's still more unusual, non-traditional when they are. This is so juvenile. You need to grow beyond being petty. Don't retaliate. You were a teen, and she didn't include you likely because you were so young. And male, despite being gay. So, get over that, as she did include you in the wedding. There aren't really sides, it's all about two families joining together. Be kind, and include her if you can. Everyone sucks here. Being a siblings of the bride doesn't mean you should be included in the bridal party events. The bride and groom decide the wedding parties. Your sister is wrong for being upset with her placement at your wedding, just like you are wrong to be upset about your placement at hers. That aside, did you ever talk to your sisters about feeling left out growing up because they always did their own thing? Or as you all have gotten to be adults, suggest doing things together with all three of you? Am I the asshole for telling my brother no to co-signing for a car? I recently received a text from my older brother simply asking, "Do you have good credit?" When I replied to him and answered that I do, he proceeded to ask me to be a co-signer on car. Another Mercedes. He has wasted so much money on different cars over the years and has put himself into debt because of it, So much so that he had to file for bankruptcy. He has a child now and his current Mercedes is too small to be a dad car, so he wants to upgrade to another one. As much as I want to be a good sister and try and help him out, I told him no as his financial track record is concerning. Now let me tell you, he's got a great job and makes good money. He's in the trades. I'm a teacher and I make far less than him, but I am good with my finances, student loans and all. When I told him no, he got aggravated and has been pretty much annoyed with me since, saying it's shitty of me to not help out when I have a good credit score, but the fact of the matter is, I'm scared he'll ruin it. I have my own bills to pay. I need to keep my credit up to par for when I'm ready to buy property since I've been saving to do so. And when I explained this to him and the fact that I do have so many other monthly bills I pay for on top of paying off student debt, he still couldn't comprehend my reasoning and sort of just scoffed it off. Am I the asshole for telling him no for my own financial safety? Not the asshole. Bad credit and he drives a Mercedes? Huge red flag. I still wouldn't co-sign with him, but you could do your brother a favor and show him a Toyota dealership. Not the asshole. He's clearly already ruined his own credit. Under no circumstances should you allow him to ruin yours. If he's not underwater, he could sell his current Mercedes and buy a good used car large enough for his family. But then, that would be the mature, financially responsible option, and it doesn't sound like your brother is ready for adulting. Stay strong and protect yourself. Not the asshole. Under no circumstances should you co-sign for a loan with someone who has already shown they have poor money management skills. Stand your ground. Not the asshole. Never co-sign for anyone. Not the asshole. He's not entitled to your financial support. He should be grateful that he even has a car in the first place. That's a privilege in itself. You are absolutely not the asshole. Do not entangle yourself financially with your brother. You will regret it. He has zero right to be pissy, trying to use your good credit to buy something he cannot afford on his own, especially for something that is an expensive and extravagant, want to have, not a need to have. Let him act like a big baby and pout. You don't need that kind of family member around. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate not to move my bras, underwear from the washer to the dryer? F26, I live with two guys, M25, and M27, I do my laundry Sunday and wash my bras, thongs on cold so they don't shrink. My roommate, while helpful, has been moving my clothes into the dryer when the washing machine stops. I'm always on top of changing it and do not let the clothes sit in the washing machine, and I know he's just trying to do me a favor. It just feels odd that he's handling all of my underwear lol. I recently asked him if he could just let me do it and his reaction seemed like I had said something horrible to him. Am I the asshole? Or is the a valid feeling? I feel like I'm going crazy lol. Info. We all have separate laundry days so no one is using it the day I am. Info. He's not doing it because he needs to use the washer? Then that's a bit weird. Not the asshole. Call a housemate meeting and say something like, hey guys, I just wanted to clarify about our laundry days. We each have one day allocated, right? Someone has been moving my washing to the dryer when it finishes, but I don't understand why. That's my day, so neither of you would be waiting to use the washing machine? Even if you did need to use the machine on that day, please just knock on my door and let me know. I don't mean to be a princess, but I've always had a thing about other people handling my laundry. If I'm doing something wrong about how I'm managing my laundry that's impacting on either of you, please let me know, otherwise please just leave it for me to deal with. Thanks. Info. Do you do your bras and thongs separate from all your other clothing? If yes, does he move your other loads of laundry as well? I wouldn't be nice about it. Be public when you confront him. I'd suggest you ensure your other roommate is there. Do not ask him. Inform him. Follow up with a text to the group. Dude, this is creepy. Don't touch my laundry. It is unacceptable. Text. Per our conversation, do not touch my laundry. We have assigned days and I do not want it touched. It is not a favor. It is invasive. Edit. Not the asshole. So his laundry day is a different day? Enid the asshole, he is. He's deliberately handling your panties and bras. I would say you are if he was waiting to use the washer, but he's not. I don't care if he says he's just being helpful. Helpful to whom? Not to you, when you specifically asked him not to do this, perv. Ew. Not the asshole. As an aside, your bras go into the dryer? You mentioned washing them on cold so that they won't shrink, but the dryer will do a lot more damage than warm water. Am I the asshole for not bailing my friend out of trouble after I warned him not to pull a prank? I 16 male have a friend named Jackson 17 male. Jackson told me he was gonna sneak in the school at night and change the grades as a joke. I warned him that it was stupid and would get him in loads of trouble, but he didn't listen. Fast forward 3 days, I heard from a mutual friend that Jackson got expelled and was arrested for trespassing. He got released a week later and he is pissed, saying I didn't stop him. Update. Me and Jackson aren't friends anymore. He blocked me on all socials. Then his dad called me saying that I should have done more. I responded that he wouldn't listen, so it wasn't my problem. We ended up having a heated argument which ended with his dad calling me a BTCH and hanging up. My family and other friends support me, but I wonder if there was more that I could have done to stop him. I would ask him how exactly you were supposed to stop him. Not the asshole. NTA, you did try to stop him. He fucked around and found out. People might argue that a "don't do it" might not be enough. Maybe not, but chaining him to a peg in the backyard is kinda extreme. And illegal too. Not the asshole. Not just this, but so damn many people never take any accountability anymore. It's always someone else's fault even when they alone are at fault. See it over and over in real life, on Reddit, everywhere. He shouldn't be your friend anymore. Not worth the trouble. He's pissed because you didn't stop him? Even though you warned him not to? Who does he think is in charge of his actions? That's a load of crap. Not the asshole. Reading the update, might need to get their own parents involved here, because if Jackson's father thinks it is okay to call a minor, speak to them in an abusive manner, and is that far past understanding that their own child is responsible for his own bad choices, this has escalated past the point where a minor should be dealing with things. I am admittedly curious as to what Jackson and/or Jackson's father thinks should have done to stop him.